Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword! It is so epic and amazing and stuff. In the previous video, we start off with an iron mining facility, which is considered to be one of the more lame dungeons in this game, and I totally agree with that, and I just fell off a cliff like a moron. Let's all clap for joy! There are some key enemies right here that you can fight, even though I fought them in the previous video, and they just respawn like jerks. I seriously don't like respawning enemies in games, particularly in Zelda games. Like, the biggest example I can think of is what are those things called? The Tektites in the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time. The Water Temple doesn't bother me at all, except for the Tektites, and those enemies are just really annoying. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about this game. In the previous video, we also got the item in the dungeon without fighting a mid-boss, which is kind of weird. It's a Gust Bellows, and you can use it to blow away dust. Anyway, we blew off the dust of this box and the switch right there, so we're gonna push the box over to the switch. Because that's what we do. It's epic and amazing. Not really. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I put a box on a switch in a Zelda game, I always put the box like perfectly square on the switch. I have no idea why I do this, but that's just something that I've always done in Zelda games, and I've probably done that in my Majora's Mask Let's Play, and probably in Link's Awakening or whatever, but I just don't know why I do this, but that's something that probably a lot of people do, but that's just something that I've always done in the Zelda game, even on camera and stuff. These puffer fist enemies, though, you can also use you can now use a vacuum to blow them away easier, whereas before you could only really blow them away with the Skyward Strike or a standard Sword Slash. But now that we have the Gust Bellows, we can blow them away a lot easier, so you don't have to worry about that. There's some Scorpion enemies right here. They're still really adorable, even though I mentioned in the previous video that Scorpions absolutely terrify me. And also, I'm just gonna bring this up a little bit more that, in the previous video I said that there aren't really a whole lot of bugs that terrify me. The only other bugs that really scare me besides the Scorpion is like a cockroach. I just cannot stand looking at cockroaches. They're just like really gross and weird. They don't scare me, they're just really gross looking. Those puffer fists are really fun to... I know I said this already, but I love fighting those puffer fists because, for whatever reason, it's just funny to think of a puffer fist that explodes. I don't know why this amuses me, but it's just really funny. There's a time system in this dungeon, and that's actually a pretty big gameplay mechanic within the dungeon. If you were sick of looking at them in the desert, we're not done with them. We are going to be encountering them a lot in this dungeon, and particularly throughout the course of an entire Lanayru desert. Because spoilers, I guess we are going to be coming back to the desert over the course of the game multiple times. But anyway, another use of the Gust Bellows is that you can use them to blow on those fans to open doors. It's pretty cool. There's also one of those Beamos, I think that's their name. I think they're called Beamos, but you can there's another one right here, and you may notice that some of them are taller and are stacked higher. This doesn't really affect too much of anything, because all it really does is that it makes it so that you have to attack them more often. Like you have to do another Sword Slash to reach the eyeball, which that's actually something that that I think was kind of a missed opportunity. Even though they probably never gonna do this, is that what would have been really cool was if Link could have like run up towards the enemy, climb up onto them, and then slam the sword into the enemy's eyeball. That would have been really cool. Kind of like a parkour thing, but I doubt they're ever gonna do that with the Zelda game, because Zelda's never really been known for its platforming. While in the 2D games like Link's Awakening, the Rock's Feather made so that you could actually jump, and the war platforming segments in that game. The Zelda series has never really been known for its platforming. So, I guess the only real exceptions would be like Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, and the CDI games, I think. Which, like I said a moment ago, the Rock's Feather item in the Game Boy Color games. I don't know if the Rock's Feather is in Miniscap. I've been playing Miniscap a lot lately, and um, it's a pretty decent game. It's not my favorite game, not even my favorite 2D game, because what really frustrates me with the game is that the overworld is really restricted in it. The overworld is really restricted in the Miniscap, so that's just something that really frustrates me whenever I play that game. But other than that, Miniscap is a really fun game, and I might do a Let's Play that game eventually. I'm definitely not planning it out, but it's not even going to be my next Zelda game. I already know what Zelda game I'm going to be doing next, but a Miniscap walkthrough is something that's like years away from now. I do plan out my Let's Plays like really far in advance. Like currently right now, I have until about 2017. Not 2017 individual Let's Plays, but if I were to continue doing walkthroughs for a couple years, at the rate that I do currently do them, I have probably enough ideas to last me until 2017. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be actually making videos that long, but I do know that I do love making Let's Plays, and I do not do it as a job at all, so I'm not restricted on what I can and cannot do because of the whole Nintendo Content ID thing and stuff like that. So I can pretty much Let's Play whatever game I want. I've only had a few problems with Content ID with Epic Mickey with some of those videos because the cutscene music is pretty restricted under copyright, but I could still continue making that Let's Play because I don't do Let's Playing as a job, and nor would I ever want to do that. We're going to be introduced to a new enemy in a moment, and its design is somewhat the same as the BMOs. It's not exactly the same, but we are going to be facing it in a moment, and it actually does use the Gust Bellows to fight it and stuff. Over here is a material that we can go collect to blow the dust away. There is an Ember Relic over there. I still really like the Ember Relics. Even though there's a lot of them in the game, I still really like their design because it's like the whole yin-yang thing, and it's really cool. Over here is something that you did not expect to be able to do in a game, in a Zelda game, at least. I don't remember if there are any puzzles like this in other Zelda games. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can actually fire stuff through the bars, which is something that I don't think you're able to do in Majora's Mask, which is the only other 3D Zelda game I've ever Let's Played. I don't think they were able to do that in that game, or Ocarina of Time for that matter. But you can actually fire stuff through the bars, and it's kind of cool. I don't know why I took off my stinks off of this. You need to use a Gust Bellows to activate the fan on top of its head, and then you need to attack the diamond thingies. If you're really scared. Oh my god, I defeated it in one thing. I'm really happy I'm really proud of myself for being able to do that. As I was trying to say a moment ago before I got like overly excited for something so silly, is that if you're really fast, you can destroy both those diamonds in one turn thing, for lack of a better word. Because those enemies will when the diamonds become apparent and you can actually attack them, you're kind of on a time limit before they respawn and try to attack you again. So when you want to use your vacuum to spin their fan, and then you have to attack the diamonds you want to attack the diamonds as quickly as you can. One diamond has to be attacked with the horizontal slash, and the other one has to be stabbed. So just keep that in mind. And something else that's going to be returning from the Lanairu Desert, overworld is that some of these platforms are going to be submerged in sand. So what we want to do in that situation is that first of all, we want to activate the switch so that we can activate that game. But what we want to do is we want to activate our map so that we can see the pathways that are laid before us. You cannot use your beacons in dungeons like Fi said in the Skyview Temple. So the strategy for using the beacons, for using multiple beacons to tell you exactly where it is, that's not going to work here. Simply because you cannot use beacons inside the dungeons. So this area right here, this crawl space gives me a pretty large Wind Waker vibe, because in Wind Waker, when you had to save Tingle from the Windfall Island prison, when you had to save Tingle from a Windfall Island prison, you had to go to a crawl space to get an item, to get the victim box thing in his jail cell. Which, let me just say for the record, right now, Tingle deserves to be in that jail cell. I don't care what anybody says, but Tingle is my least favorite Zelda character ever, and he deserves to be in jail. Enough about that. So, yeah, in Wind Waker, you had to save Tingle from a jail cell, and those cross spaces just remind me of that. And in Wind Waker, if you took a wrong turn, then you'd actually fall through a pathway back to the ocean. That's not going to happen in this game, so don't worry about that. And whenever speaking of Tingle, whenever I hear somebody talk about how they don't like this game, the response that immediately comes to mind is that if they really wanted to make this a bad Zelda game, they would have put Tingle in it. So I know a lot of people out there, mostly in Japan, like Tingle, and God knows why he was included in Hyrule Warriors, but a lot of people like Tingle for some reason or another. I do not like Tingle at all. He is my least favorite Zelda character, possibly my least favorite video game character as a whole. I just don't care for Tingle at all, and I apologize for people who I just blew myself up. I deserve that. I shouldn't be saying how bad Tingle is. I got blown up because I deserved it. Yeah, whatever. I know a lot of people out there like Tingle. I'm just not one of those people at all. I just can't stand Tingle. Post-commentary note, I decided to speed up this next room in editing because I wasn't really talking that much in this next room, because I was mostly just focusing on what I was trying to do, but I decided to speed this area up in editing. So the only thing that's really worth mentioning is that you don't have to blow away all the dust in this room. That's just something that I always do whenever I play through this game. So you only need to blow away certain parts of it to get to the stuff that you actually need to get to. So you do not have to blow away every single pixel of dust in this room. And now that we're outside of that room, we're going to blow away the dust off this thing, because it's a very dusty thing. Inside of it is a time shift stone, which we'll be activating in a moment, but first, we're going to be blowing away this dust as if we didn't blow away enough dust a moment ago. Those switches right there that you saw, I'm going to get to that in a moment, but first, when you activate this time shift stone, it's going to activate a track that it's going to be going across. The switches will bring it back to the station, so if you mess up on something, you can go back to, if you fall off the platform and you respawn over there, you can hit the switch to bring it back over to the station, so you don't have to like you don't have to like reset your game or anything like that. This enemy right here, I don't really know if I hate it or like it, because sometimes I really like this enemy, but other times I don't like it at all. it just really depends on my mood. Like right now, I'm not really caring that much for it. What you have to do is that you have to use a sealed bass to knock the torpedo back at you. And after you attack it one time, it's going to send a couple of minions after you. Not the yellow Despicable Me minions, but some circly minions that you get to attack with in a certain direction. Um, so I'm not sure if I really like those enemies or if I don't like them. Because what the heck was that? My light bulb just like burned out in my living room. That was weird. Anyway, I'm back on track. I don't really know if I really like those enemies or if I don't care for them at all. So it just really depends on my mood. Like right now, I don't care for them. I don't really care that much for them. These enemies right here, if you do not like them, unlike me, where I really like these enemies, you're gonna have to fight them anyway. You cannot just avoid them because, especially that one on the track, you have to defeat it so that the time shift stone can keep on going through the track. In the next area, I actually recommend staying behind the time shift stone, so or staying behind the time shift stone, so the electrical beams don't attack you. You could try using your Scout Strike against it, but I'm going to warn you guys right now, it's going to take forever to do that, so I don't recommend that. There's a fan right here, which we can activate. This fan is not important at all. All it really does is that it just activates a shortcut back to the beginning of the dungeon. So it's not really that important. It just makes it so that you don't have to go all the way around to get back to this area in case you decide to stop playing the game, and in case you decide to stop playing the game for whatever reason. There's another time shift stone right here which you can activate. Just like with the other time shift stones outside, if you activate one of them, all the other ones will deactivate. So you cannot have like multiple time shift stones activate at the same time. It's just also really slow, as you can probably tell. Which I guess I can understand because more casual players would probably get overwhelmed if it went too fast, especially when enemies would start showing up. But for people like me who've been playing Zelda games forever, it's just really slow. When the time shift stone gets to a certain point over here, when it gets to a fan, it'll activate the fan so you can actually use the gust spells against it. And speaking of fans, oh my god, this is hilarious. There's an M&M commercial that I saw the other day that it's been showing up a lot on YouTube recently. I just saw on the videos I've been watching, but this is like the first time that I saw it on television. But there's this one commercial that showed the two M&M guys, the red one and the yellow one. The red M&M wanted the yellow M&M to tell their fans about some new deal about their products or whatever, and the yellow M&M thought that he meant that literally and was speaking into an actual fan to talk about it. Not like talking about their fan base, but like an actual fan that's used to cool down rooms on hot days. It was one of the funniest commercials I've ever seen. So it was just like really hilarious. Over here, you want to be very careful with these steam things because they're gonna blow you away. So you want to stay away from them, especially up here because it can be a little bit tricky to avoid them. Because you're gonna be climbing around these walls and stuff. And don't do that. I was just about to say, don't touch the spiky things, but leave it to me to not follow my own advice. You want to stay away from those spiky things because as I saw a moment ago, Link fell to his deathly doom, even though he didn't fall too far and he actually took any damage. Over here, the pathway over to the next time shift stone is a little bit obnoxious, so I'm going to throw these bombs at these little robot bowls to activate some platforms. This is one of those rare Zelda platforming moments where you can like jump across platforms or whatever. Blow up faster! There's an amber relic right here if you want it. There are plenty of those in the game, and so you shouldn't worry too much about it. But over here, underneath this dust are scorpions, but most importantly, there's a tempest stone around here somewhere. I'm going to be speeding up this room because it could take a little while to complete, so cue the music! And now, we are fighting two of these monsters. Oh no, whatever are we gonna do? I don't think the two of them will be activated at the same time, unless you get into one of their zones, because I think they only activate if you go into the circly thing that they're in. Because you may notice that whenever these things appear, there are circly designs on the there are circly patterns on the ground that will tell you whether or not basically, if you go in there, those enemies are going to activate and they're going to try to destroy your face. So, if you see two of those circle things interacting with each other, you do not want to go into that area, because you do not want to have to deal with two of those enemies at the same time, because they can be really, really obnoxious and actually really terrifying if you're trying to fight two of them at the same time. I'm going to be saving the boss of this dungeon for the next video. But before we end off this video, we're gonna get out of this room by destroying this Beamos. I think that's their name. I might be wrong about that, but whatever. I'm just gonna call them Beamos, even if that's not their official name. You want to use your stamina fruit to get across this area. A stamina potion would also be useful in this dungeon because of how often you're gonna be climbing around and with the whole conveyor belts and stuff, but might not be too useful in this room particularly because of the steam pipes. But anyway, we're gonna end the video off here, so thank you guys for watching this video of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Next time, we're gonna be taking on the boss of this place. Until next time, near to you. Oh yeah.